This is my presentation over mobile devices. This is Stana Flynn, and this presentation is about the importance of mobile teaching and the learning environment for K through third grade. The first thing we'll talk about is a problem and why we should implement teaching in the learning environment. The big problem is that some teachers need some help checking on progress and being able to give each child that one-on-one assistance that they may need. This is mostly because a lot of classrooms have a very extreme difference from singular teacher to students. Most classes could have upwards of one teacher to about 15 to 20 students, and some could even have more, and only have that responsibility be split between two classes. So being able to check on work and teachers are doing correct work and checking on correct work, and they also have to help children who might be falling behind with daily work and keeping up with all the other students. They also have to be able to assist them. The solution would be to introduce iPads in the classrooms. iPads can help determine if any student needs a little extra help. iPads could also be better for younger ages because they are an easy to carry and a more trustworthy product instead of a computer. For computers, it's a lot to learn in a lot of different areas that you would have to learn, including typing and maintenance. But with iPads, that would just kind of stay in their classroom, and the teacher would be able to move it and assist it however they need. The best choice would be an Apple iPad. The generation really does not matter in this situation, kind of just as long as it's known for not having an extreme amount of bugs. But Apple iPads are known because they have excellent quality and they can stand up to almost anything. A broken down thing of expenses would be that a single iPad does cost around $330, truly just depending on what generation you did pick. If you picked a more newer generation, it will be higher, and a lesser amount of money would be a older generation. Most iPads come with a charging cord, but recently Apple has done away with giving bricks along with the charging cord, so that extra amount would be necessary. And then on top of that, keyboard and cases, not only to protect the iPad, but to also give that children the opportunity to learn how to start typing. And then if costs would be added in to what the teacher would need. So depending on the grade would be depending on the costs on whether what apps that the teachers would need. And this is a little bit of a market rate on a standard iPad, a Generation 9 iPad does range around to 300 to 330, not including shipping. And then here we can see that it has the power adapter, and if we needed extra lightning cables, and then this is just a generic keyboard. The implementation. We would start by giving these to the older grades, so that would include first, second, and third grade. These are mostly for those students that would be able to handle it and be able to learn. And then after we introduce them to those grades, we would then introduce it to our younger grades, which would be kindergarten. When introducing these, you obviously want to give children some time to kind of explore it and to figure it out on their own. Sitting there and having you lecture exactly how to do everything could be a little counterintuitive because a lot of kids just kind of want to dive in and figure it out on their own. But if we weren't able to implement them and give them to the younger grades, we could also start trying with a smart board, but that would only be kind of a backup for not having the iPads. The impact. The impact on these iPads in the classrooms would definitely be more of a help for the teachers on a way to easily track students' progresses. There are apps that are specifically designed to cater towards student progress, and through the apps, if the student is falling behind, instead of just moving on to that next lesson and that kid not being able to get that extra amount of help, these apps do break down and kind of go through certain lessons to better help the students understand it so that we don't have to really worry about a child slipping through the cracks. That's always a fear for all teachers that there's that one kid that's struggling and we would never know. But through using an iPad and using these apps, we would be able to check their progress at the beginning of the year versus at the end of the year, and be able to look at and compare their scores for both the parents and the teachers. That is my presentation over mobile devices on why we should implement them into the earlier grades, including kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. Thank you for listening.